Welcome back to Is School Choice the Black Choice, a special on NewsOne Now. On to school vouchers, an initiative that allows parents to take money from the government, which they allocate for a child's education, for their parent to use it as they see fit at a private school or even another public school. Now, a parent in the audience gets us started.
My question is this: if this educational marketplace, there's a standardization and transparency, right? And I know for certain that my public school is definitely not working for my child, right? Why can't I get some financial assistance from the state that I send my tax dollars to provide this service of education? Why can't I get some assistance from them?
Got it.
So that I can go afford to a school where I know works for my child.
Now, if I could get a Pell Grant or a government grant to go to Howard, Spelman, or Morehouse, is that not taxpayer subsidized? Yes or no?
It is.
Yes.
It is. So if that's the case, how is it that we support vouchers on the collegiate level, but to his point, oppose it middle, elementary school, high school?
Because the objective is to maintain a government system that has failed us so that the employees can keep their jobs.
Not quite accurate.
Because if we went with the will of the people, then the money would follow the child. And just as a student selected Howard University or Morehouse, they would choose the school that is best for them. And no one in here is calling Howard or Morehouse segregated. There's a fundamental difference between a choice and segregation. Segregation at its root means that you cannot choose, that you are predetermined to attend the school, regardless of what your will, that the parents' will not be done, unless, of course, they can afford to buy their way out of that neighborhood. Howard is not segregated. Howard is a choice. The same as friendship is a choice, the same as Capital Prep is a choice, the same as yes, public schools are choices. It's a choice. And if we say over and over again that we only support good teachers and we only support quality education, then someone please explain to me why so many of our good brothers in unions have found themselves fighting for the jobs to be maintained of individuals who've been found to have committed crimes and other crimes against children. Further along that line, if we're saying that we care so much about quality, how is it possible to have a school in which 95 to 97% of children are not reading, writing at grade level, yet 95% of the teachers in that school and the administration are found to be performing at or above proficiency? See, until such time as we start having honest conversations about why we find ourselves in a situation, there's nothing at all that stops the adults in the buildings from sitting down, huddling up and saying, we want to be the best neighborhood school on earth or the best school on earth, and doing it. There's no charter school, there's no boogeyman, there's no billionaire standing outside. It's just the people in that building deciding whether or not they're going to stay late tonight or come on Saturdays or come early in the morning. That's on them.
I asked that question about that because it's very interesting. When I've had debates with people about this, about the issue of vouchers, people have said, Roland, taxpayer dollars should not go to private entities, but you can use taxpayer subsidies for health care to go to private hospitals.
The GI Bill.
Hillary, is it true or not true? I can use a taxpayer dollar, a voucher, called a Pell Grant, to go to a private institution that's not public. Yes or no?
I'm not going to give you a yes or no on that because
because you know it's true.
Well, no, there's a misunderstanding. Let me say this. Wait. Let me tell you what I'm saying. Let me tell you what I'm saying.
But I'm trying to understand.
You know, as I know, 90% of all public school dollars come from the state. Only 10% come from the federal government.
No.
It's true.
No, Hillary.
Now take a look at it. Tell me my data's wrong. Is my data accurate?
Hillary.
All right.
Hillary.
Yes, sir.
This is the premise that I've heard about vouchers. I do not support.
Let me help you with that.
The premise is I do not support taxpayer dollars going to private schools.
Oh, I disagree.
And
with
what
that.
I'm saying is, I need to understand, why do we accept it on the collegiate level? Why do we accept it in healthcare? Why do we accept public defenders getting public dollars who work for private law firms? But then we say you can't do it for elementary school, middle, or high school. I'm just trying to understand, why is that okay, but this is bad?
Let me give you some. First, you got to have some context. Otherwise, you're going to have a pretext.
Go ahead.
In other words, the context is think about how the money is spent. Our public schools are paid for by the taxpayers already. Public schools, 90% of the money for all of our public schools come from the state government. Property taxes overall, only 10% comes from the federal government. Look at the private colleges and universities. Where does their money come from? So in other words,
I'm a graduate of Texas A&M University. I'm a graduate of Texas A&M University, a public college.
Yes, sir.
Money comes from the state of Texas.
Yes. And how much is your tuition?
I was able to get a federal grant voucher to go to a public state university. And what I'm trying to understand is, why do we say that's acceptable for college and not elementary, middle, high school?
I will begin arguing first that we're thinking about public schools. Number one, they're underfunded. So we're taking money away out of the public schools that's supposed to be the foundation of that community and giving it to a few individuals.
But state colleges are underfunded.
Let me finish. If you look at how the school vouchers are utilized, they give you the premise and the understanding that somehow or another you get this school voucher and you're going to be able to go to the Sidwell Friends of the world and those kind of things. The truth of the matter is, the average school voucher is about $5,400.
This is a part of the issue of school choice. Because when we talk about dollars following a child, the brother just said, I should have the opportunity that if I'm a taxpayer and I'm putting money into a system, I should be able to say, why can't I get that $6,000, $7,000, $8,000 or whatever it is, to take that and go to this school over here? That's what he asked.
If you're special ed, see, so here's the interesting part, because it goes even further.
Stephen Rudy.
What actually is happening at the K to 12, there are vouchers. There already are vouchers, special education. When a child goes from one school to the other, the money's portable. It's just that they're trying to hold on to the lion's share of it to ensure that the system is maintained. Because today, as the former superintendent will tell you, today in somebody's school system, a superintendent had to sign over that a child was going to go to a special education placement, and they're going to pay through the nose for that. And in many cases, it could be a private, could be for-profit, private, not-for-profit, but it's definitely locally not going to be a traditional school. This child may need extraordinary services that the traditional school system cannot provide. That money is going to be spent specifically in a school that is not under the jurisdiction of the school system. So it exists even within today's context. So your question requires even a more specific answer. So if it actually is already happening, and it happens at it happens at post-secondary, it happens in public housing, and it happens in all these other places, then why can't a parent decide that if I am going to go to another school, I want to take the $11,000 that would have come to me had I gone to a charter school, a traditional school, I wanted to go to the other school that I choose.
Kickstart your day at 7 and get the news you need from the perspective you want. NewsOne Now with Roland Martin, every weekday morning at 7 on TV1.